8 years ago, in December 2013, South Africa supported the adoption of the General Assembly resolution declaring 26 September as the International Day for the total elimination of nuclear weapons. This commemorated the first ever General Assembly high-level meeting on nuclear disarmament. This year, the commemoration of this day takes place with renewed hope. This hope is derived from the entry into force on 22nd January of the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, the TPNW. The treaty is the result of an increased focus by the international community on the catastrophic humanitarian consequences of any nuclear weapon explosion, as envisaged in the first resolution adopted by the General Assembly 75 years ago. The treaty complements the objectives of the Non-Proliferation Treaty, which remains the cornerstone of nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation. It should also serve as a catalyst for much overdue progress in the disarmament pillar of the Non-Proliferation Treaty in fulfillment of the historic bargain between nuclear weapon states and non-nuclear weapon states. This year also marks the 30th anniversary of South Africa's accession to the Non-Proliferation Treaty in 1991 as a non-nuclear weapons state. We look forward with much hope to the successful convening of the 10th NPT Review Conference and the first meeting of states parties to the treaty respectively in 2022. Furthermore, on 12th April 2021, the African continent commemorated the 25th anniversary of the opening for signature of the African Nuclear Weapon Free Zone Treaty. The Pelindaba Treaty, which established a nuclear weapon-free zone in Africa. In this context, we reiterate our call for nuclear weapon states that have signed or ratified any of the relevant protocols of a nuclear weapon-free zone treaty with reservations or unilateral interpretations affecting the status of the denuclearized zone to modify or withdraw such reservations or unilateral interpretations. As the only country to have voluntarily abandoned nuclear weapons, South Africa remains deeply concerned that the nuclear disarmament obligations under Article 6 of the treaty and the unequivocal undertakings made in the context of its review conferences remain unfulfilled. Nuclear disarmament and nuclear non-proliferation are mutually reinforcing processes which continuously require verifiable and irreversible progress on both fronts. A selective focus on non-proliferation measures and the lack of progress on nuclear disarmament undermines the bargain that is central to the integrity of the treaty. As we commemorate this day, South Africa joins others in reaffirming the inalienable right of states to the peaceful uses of nuclear energy and applications. The potential of such applications to contribute towards sustainable and accelerated economic growth in our country and on the African continent cannot be overemphasized. We therefore attach great importance and appreciate the work of the International Atomic Energy Agency through its Technical Cooperation Program toward addressing the socioeconomic needs and sustainable development challenges in developing countries, particularly in the areas of food security, human and animal health, and energy. The total elimination of nuclear weapons and the legally binding assurance that they will never be produced again is the only guarantee that these weapons will never be used. We are thus convinced that as long as nuclear weapons exist, humankind will continue to face the threat of their immense, uncontrollable, and indiscriminate use. I thank you, Mr. President.